everybody, welcome back to Crazy Gamers Games and Model Making. Today is the day. This is going to be the video on what to vote on for my build along that's coming up. It'll be starting in a couple days. Today is July 27th, 2019, and on July 30th or 29th, I'll be choosing what model to build from the votes, and on August 1st, we will start the build. There'll be a pre-build video reviewing the kit, reviewing all the sprues before that, but you have the 27th and 28th, which is today and tomorrow, of 2019 in July to vote on which kit you want to see built. So, first on the list is a Special Hobbies 132 Tempest Mark V. And, you know, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sprues. It has, I do have the Big Ed upgrade set for this. See, it's a 1/32 scale Tempest Mark V, and here's some of the markings on what it'll look like. You know, and just to let you know, in this build along, there will be a couple giveaways later on in the build. Special Hobby gives you a nice little history of this. This is a British aircraft from, I believe, from World War II. It is a fancy looking aircraft. From aircraft I like these. I don't like the new stuff. So that's that. And then we have, which is similar to the Tempest, is the Typhoon. This is from Eduard. This is a British World War II fighter. This is the Typhoon Mark 1B. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sprues, a couple sprues of photo etch, and some resin parts. From what I hear, this is a difficult kit to build. So I'm not 100% sure how well this one's going to go. But here are some of the markings on what it can look like. These are all from 1944, 45, 44, and 45. And two more 45s. So nice marking. I like either the one without the invasion stripes or the one with the invasion stripes. But you guys are going to get to pick what scheme I do, and I'm going to try my best to do it. I'm not the best painter in the world, but I'm going to give it my all. I want this to be a successful build. So, and then coming up next is something, and that was 1/48 scale. That was 1/48 scale plane aircraft. Now, this is one of the big ones. This is a 1/16 scale German King Tiger. It is a 2-in-1 kit. You get the Henschel turret and the Porsche turret. This has 2,000 plus parts. It's got 2 different track sets. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 different sprues, and some of them there's 4 of, 2 of, 5 of, 4 of, 2 of, and then there's, you know, there's springs, there's Zimrick for Zimrick coating, there's 104 tooth tracks, 104 flat tracks. I believe this makes 2 sets of tracks, 2 different sets of tracks. I'm not 100% sure. It has polycaps. It has some PE. It does have the PE for the shell casings. And here's the parts. Here's what the parts for the Porsche, and then the call out for the Porsche, the Henschel, and then the Porsche. It looks like they use 2 different sprues, so you could possibly build both turrets. It looks like it's possible to build both turrets and then put on whichever one you want to later, because all the individual sprue parts for the turrets are different. Because you have a PZ, PY, PX, you have an HX, HY, HZ, and then all the upper turret, lower turret, they're all different. the gun A, gun B. So you might be able to build both of these assemblies with this kit. And this also comes, we'll have to apply our own Zemret to it. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that. I'm probably going to use that with either diluted putty or some magic sculpt, or, well, for the life of me, I can't think of the green stuff. There's some other two-part epoxy sculpt. That's what I'm thinking of. I like working with epoxy sculpt mixed with green stuff. That makes a heavy-duty, nice material to work with. So this one's pretty straightforward. It also has paint schemes in the box. This is a huge kit. This model will take up this much of my bench. This is why I cleared off a lot of the clutter on my bench, in case you guys pick one of these larger kits, or even one of these planes. I need the space to be able to build on here. You know, this is my little Jagdpanther you guys have seen me work on. It is 3 times the size of this Jagdpanther, so it will take up this area. I might even have to move a little bit more space out to get the whole one of these, this one on, or the next one. So that's the JagdTiger with the 2 different turret options. Next is the JagdTiger. This is another huge kit, 1,500 plus parts. It's got photo etch. It's got all kinds of stuff. Let's take a look. Here's what we got. Again, loads of sprues. Loads of sprues. Oh, it's got rubber ducting. Excuse me. Torsion bars. It's got tracks. 220 different track pieces. It's got 420 axles. It has tons of parts. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So it's got 36 individual sprues, not including the PE. And some of them there's 5 of, there's 4 of, there's 2 of. So there is a large number of parts in this kit. And I have to say this, I'm not trying to influence the voting, but the JagdTiger is one of my favorite tanks overall. Not even just World War II tanks. The JagdTiger is one of my favorite tanks. It's a tank destroyer. The Germans used it. It was insane. It was an insane project. It had problems, which is great. You want to know history and stuff, I want to know a little bit more history on this. I'll get into that in a little bit. But we'll continue to look through the book a little bit more. I didn't get to look through it in the review. So, starts off, now I have looked through this one. I was showing my son, Kid Crazy, how to approach building a model. And I believe on this one, if I do the JagdTiger or the JagdTiger, I'm going to build the engines first. I'm going to start here on step 15, and I'm going to build the transmission and the engine, and I'm going to paint them and weather them. But I'm going to paint them and weather them in a way they're going to glue back in pretty well. Because these are fully developed interiors. So I'm going to paint these, weather these, and then I'm going to do the road wheels and start construction on that. Sorry about that, I had an alarm go off. So, gonna do the construction, gonna do that, and then I'm gonna make sure I lay out this entire interior as much as I can do before I put these torsion bars in, so I can spray this whole interior with the German red brown, that whole red they use, and then paint the torsion bars separately and slide those in and not have to mess with this inside again. Then I can set the engine and the firewalls and all that stuff in. I'm going to make sure that all the paints are scraped off. Everything is, this Jagdpanther I've had a lot of issues with because I didn't think it through. I didn't think it through from the beginning, but whatever kit we pick, I am thinking it through. I'm already looking through these books on what the best way to approach These are, I have to say, I am more familiar with the armor and the tanks than I am with the aircraft. It will be my first aircraft ever. I have built other models that can be covered up with weathering and, tanks and stuff that you can hide your mistakes with a wash or weathering. I've never made a pristine aircraft where you got the panel lines and, a flawless paint job, everything buffed out perfectly. So that would be a new experience. I would prefer an armor, but you guys get the pick. So we'll see what happens. Another thing about this Jagdpanther, just the thing, there's 64 steps in the Jagdpanther. How many's in this? Well, there's 2 sets of turret assemblies. Looks like there's 43 steps in the upper hull assembly. Yeah, from the whole tank part without the turret on the King Tiger is 43 steps. But if you do both turrets, you're looking at 64 pages. 64 pages, and this one 64 pages. So they're both 64 pages. This one's pretty cool. It's got a machine gun on the back, an MG42, to shoot down planes that are flying over. I think that's freaking cool. And it's a slide molded machine gun, so I think it'll look good. But what I think will set the JagdTiger apart is I have this book, Building Trumpeter's 1/16 scale kit, the JagdTiger, and that's the kit. That's this kit right here. It's one of the kits you can vote on. And it basically goes through, it has detailed pictures of, what the tank needs to look like. From one of the surviving ones, it talks about errors that need to be corrected, filling seams, what you should build, when you should paint things. Like here, you should add some of these SD scopes, the little periscope holders. And if you guys pick the JagdTiger, I'm going to be doing stuff like this. I'm going to be scratch building this stuff because I want to make it accurate. I don't know if I'm going to go into detail on the seat like this, but I may use some, putty to make seat cushions, things like that. I don't know how to do the spring. I could try a spring. I'll try this. If you guys pick this JagdTiger, I'm going to try all these techniques in this book to make it more accurate. I'm going to highly detail it, and then, this is a good example of what you can do before you paint it. And then it's got, detailing on the engine where he uses leaded wire on the motor, on the engine part, to make it look better, just make it more correct. So, but this is a whole book. If you pick this, we'll go through this book. It's got great interior details to show what it looks like, pictures of what it should be painted like. It doesn't have any color callouts, but what I'm going to do is, if we pick this one, or even the King Tiger, because I have books on the King Tiger of paint schemes and stuff, from the 1/35th scale, here's some interior pictures, that I will write the color callouts on all the parts in the book in pencil, so we know what color to paint things. But this is the JagdTiger for the 1/16th JagdTiger by Trumpeter. That's what I would pick. You guys choose. If you want me to do an aircraft, we'll go over it again. The reviews for all these kits or unboxings are on my channel. Whatever kit you pick, we'll go into an in-depth review of every sprue. We got the 1/16th JagdTiger from Trumpeter. We got the 1/16th King Tiger from Trumpeter with both the Henshaw turret and the Porsche turret. And it does look like you can build both turrets. And then we have a 1/48 scale Typhoon Mk, a British World War II fighter. The Eduard kit, it's a Hasegawa plastic with the Eduard upgrades. It does have issues. I do know that. I've seen some other videos of people building this. There's a lot of issues with this. This may be a frustrating build. And then we have a 1/32 special hobby Tempest Mark V. Again, there's fit issues that I know of. There's going to be a lot of filling and a lot of rescribing panel lines. It'll be my first time doing that. But keep in mind, whatever one we pick, I will still later on this year be building the 1/24 Airfix Typhoon. That will be built on this channel as build log. This will be a build along where I show all the steps and any kind of hiccups that I encounter along the way. And if I make a mistake, how I fixed it, and any kind of... These two I'll be adding scratch building to and things like this. These two would just be building to learn. They may still be exciting, they may not, but there will be aircraft built at a later date this year, but this is what's going to be starting here in the beginning of August of 2019. If you want to pick one of these 4 kits, vote in the comments, leave the comments, like. Now, let me talk about giveaways. If you participate in the build along, if you comment, like, share, just participate in the thing. Most participation you can do, I will find you in my comments, and I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to do 2 giveaways in this series, one towards the middle of the series and one at the end of the series. The first giveaway will be just a grab bag box of just random tools, some sanding sticks, maybe some paint, some primers, glue, just a little grab bag of modeling supplies, just a grab bag of modeling supplies. I haven't put it together yet. You grab bag modeling supplies. But at the end of the build, if you guys pick the King Tiger, I will give away, where's it at? Here it is, right here. If you guys pick the King Tiger, let me zoom out. Some screws there. Zoom out here. I will give away this King Tiger from Takom 1/35 kit with a Herschel turret with Zimmerit. It's got a full interior, real armor thickness, 1/35 scale. It's by Takom. You can see the callouts by Mk. There's all the sprues. You see there's a lot of sprues. I know that's hard to see. Some better light on it. It's got PE. It's got decals. It's got all the different sprues. You guys pick the King Tiger for me to build. I'll be giving away this King Tiger at the end of the build process when the model is complete. And if you pick the JagdTiger, I will be giving away a Jagdpanther G1 German tank destroyer from Takom with a full interior. This is a full interior. It's got, here's the full interior details. Here is your amount of sprues you get. It's length and length track. If you see my Berg Panther, it's the same kind of track as that. It's got individual ammunition. Like I said, this is one of my favorite tanks, and it would pain me to give this away, but if you guys pick the 1/16 JagdTiger for me to build, I will give away this Jagdpanther at the end of the build. When the build is complete, I will be giving this away. Or if you pick the King Tiger, I'll be giving away the King Tiger one. And if you pick one of the aircraft, I will be giving away the other aircraft. So if you pick the 1/48 Eduard aircraft, I will be giving away the 1/32 Tempest Mark V. If you pick the 1/32 Tempest Mark V, I'll be giving away the Eduard 1/48 scale plastic kit. So that's at the end of the build, and then in the middle of the build, I will be doing everybody who's participated, commented, liked, subscribed, we will do a drawing, and that person will get a grab box of just various new hobby supplies. I'll go to the hobby store, I'll pick out some cool stuff. A lot of the tools I'll use, stuff you'll see I'll use on the channel, things like that. I know for a fact that one of them will be one of my favorite things. It will be a FlexiFile cut and trim. It'll be these thin sticks with these little pieces right here that are great. It comes in 4 different grits. This will be definitely in one of the grab bags. I made sure I picked up an extra one of these for this grab bag giveaway. These are fantastic modeling tools. Excuse me. A lot of people use cheap nails, dollar store, cut them up, nail files. I have those cheap files, but I use these thin sticks. This red one can buff out any scratches that the lighter ones put in. You can cut these little tips off. You get these, I mean, here's what they look like. They are tiny little sticks. They're all varied in size. It's hard to see here. But they're all varied in size here. This is what you get. You get, it looks like 4 of each. You got a coarse, a medium, a fine, and a, like a polish, which is 600, 150, 320, and 280. I think they're a little softer than that. Once you use them, once you knock them down a little bit, they're even softer and they work great. But this is definitely one of the things that's going to be given away. Maybe some Tamiya masking tape. Just, you know, products I use and enjoy. I really enjoy Tamiya's basic type putty and basic white putty. Probably be giving away a tube of that, but I gotta watch shipping standards on that because it's got solvent in it, so there are issues with shipping. So it might be things that we'll see what I can ship and how I can ship it. Another thing I use a lot for stiffening joints and filling seams is I use this. This is acrylic nail powder for doing women's nails. You get this at the beauty supply store for less than $1. It comes in different colors. This happens to be pink because it was the cheapest. And I mix it with super glue. Specifically, I mix it with Slow Zap, this thick CA. But you can mix it with a medium CA, and you can control the thickness. You can turn it into a paste and spread it on with a spatula. You can make it thin, and it'll flow in recessed lines. It'll fill it, as you can see here on this pink section here is where these broke, and I filled that cavity with that super glue and acrylic mixture, and now it's rock hard. It's not going to break again, and whatever was over, I was able to sand out it sands real beautifully, and it leaves a super smooth finish. So that is acrylic powder. I might send some of that because that is a fantastic item I use. I don't want to send anything dangerous because I don't know how old the person is. I want to send it. I might send a pack of micro applicators. I'm a big fan of micro applicators. Another thing I use that a lot of people aren't familiar with is this micro liquid tape. It's a tacky adhesive for temporarily gluing most modeling materials. And if you have a piece that needs to be adjusted and into its final position, but you want to stick it on to paint it, you can stick it together with this. You put it on one side, and then you put it on the other side, and once they turn clear, you stick the two pieces together. It's like a contact adhesive, but it's not a permanent joint. The joint comes right apart, and you can position things correctly. I used it for this section in here in the Jagdpanther. These little arms right here, these can be adjusted up or down for these to meet the back panel. How you get it to do that, I don't know with these panel covers on, but they were made to be adjusted and loose. So I temporarily glued them to this section here, sprayed it the color I wanted to spray it, and then when I got it lined up in the right position, I had to turn them a little bit, which they were able to turn, and then I flowed a little extra thin in both sides, and it goes right through this tacky adhesive and bonds the joint, and you're good to go. They say to clean up the joint. I found that I haven't had to clean up the joint, but it's a great temporary adhesive. I use it in many, many occasions. And if you do want to clean up the joint, it just cleans up with a little bit of alcohol. Or acetone. You can clean it with alcohol or acetone. It says clean up while wet or paint thinner if it is dried, but acetone works great. So does you can find it. Circuit board cleaner, PCB cleaner is a great cleaner. It's mostly isopropyl alcohol, but it has some cleaners that can clean this stuff up. Also cleans other modeling stuff very well. So, random stuff like that I find that I use that I don't see a lot of people using that I think people may like. But that'll be a grab bag giveaway in the middle of this build. So we'll see how much participation I get, and we'll do a random drawing among my subscribers. Between my subscribers and those who are participating in the build. Participating means you don't have to build along. Just, comment, share your thoughts, engage with the community and the other people enjoying the build. If you have any ideas, let me know those ideas. You think I did something wrong? Hey, tell me I did something wrong. If you don't like what I'm doing, dislike the video. Tell me why you didn't like the video. I'm aware that I have lighting issues. I have had lighting issues for my entire channel. My area I work in is so bright it hurts my eyes. I don't know how to make it any brighter. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 50 feet of LED tape, 2 lights with probably 3 feet of LED tape, and then I have a 100 LED camera light, and then I have a 4 bulb ceiling light and 2 single bulb standing lamps next to the table, and the lighting is still bad. So and if I have direct lighting, it glares and it whites out my pages. So I don't have any other options on lighting. This is the lighting you get. So I'm sorry about that. But this is the options. I'm going to go over one more time. You got the 1/48 scale Eduard Typhoon. You got the Special Hobbies 1/32 Tempest. The Trumpeter 1/16 scale King Tiger 2-in-1 with the Herschel turret and the Porsche turret. And then you have the 1/16 scale from Trumpeter, the JagdTiger, which we also have the upgrade book for any kind of scratch building to make it more correct, which we would be doing if you picked the JagdTiger. So that's going to be it for this video. I droned on for 30 minutes, and I apologize. But that's it. Vote, like, comment, subscribe. Get ready to join the build. Check out the video on Monday, the 29th, to see what kit is picked, and then we'll do a review of all the sprues, and then we will talk about the build sequence. The Jagdpanther is still going on in the background. It is getting very close to completion, and we'll have some more updates on that. For Crazy Gamer Games and model making, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to vote.